The internet didn't just break last night, it detonated. Screens froze. Timelines caught fire. And one name echoed louder than any other, Tamar Braxton. Because what started as a quiet family tension allegedly exploded into the most shocking scandal the Braxton legacy has ever faced. Insiders say this wasn't gossip. This wasn't shade. This was nuclear. Towanda Braxton allegedly crossed a line so unforgivable that even longtime fans are still shaking, by leaking what appeared to be Ashlee's DNA reports, and igniting a rumor so explosive it stopped the world cold. Within minutes, whispers turned into screams. Was Tamar secretly Ashlee's mother? Was this a decades-old secret finally dragged into the light? Or was this the most brutal betrayal one sister could ever commit to another? Screenshots allegedly surfaced. Percentages were circled. Names were highlighted. And suddenly, a question nobody was prepared to ask was everywhere at once. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Tamar found out the same way the rest of the world did, online. No warning. No heads up. Just a viral image that sent her spiraling into what sources are calling a full emotional collapse. Phones were thrown. Studios were abandoned. And then came the alleged voice clip, Towanda laughing, saying, "Let her explain that." That sentence changed everything. Because this wasn't just about DNA. This was about silence, secrets, and survival. About a family built on unity now tearing itself apart in public. And as the internet demands answers, one thing is certain, once bloodlines are questioned, there's no going back. And what Tamar did next made the fallout impossible to contain. The shock didn't settle. It multiplied. Within hours of the alleged DNA screenshot going viral, the Braxton family name wasn't just trending, it was imploding. Group chats turned into crime scenes. Fans dissected pixels like forensic analysts. And every time someone tried to calm the chaos, another alleged leak reignited it. According to multiple insider accounts circulating online, Tamar Braxton didn't just get angry. She unraveled. The moment she allegedly realized the DNA report wasn't a rumor, but something someone close to her had shared intentionally, her fury crossed into something darker. Not performative. Not dramatic. Personal. Witnesses claim she kept repeating one sentence over and over again. She knew what this would do. The narrative exploded when an alleged private message surfaced, supposedly from Towanda, sent to an unnamed contact, just minutes after the leak went public. It read, "I'm tired of carrying secrets that aren't mine." That single line detonated everything. Because if true, it meant this wasn't accidental. It was intentional exposure. And in the Braxton universe, intentional exposure is war. Tamar allegedly tried to reach Towanda immediately. Over and over. Calls unanswered. Messages unread. And that silence spoke louder than any explanation. According to a source close to Tamar, that's when she became convinced this wasn't just about Ashlee, it was about revenge. Then came the second alleged leak. A short audio clip, only a few seconds long, surfaced from an anonymous account. Towanda's voice, unmistakable, saying, if she wanted it buried, she shouldn't have lied. No context. No clarification. But the damage was instant. Fans took sides within minutes. Some accused Towanda of exposing a truth everyone deserved to know. Others accused her of weaponizing private medical information to destroy her own sister. And Tamar. She snapped. She allegedly stormed out of a scheduled appearance, refusing to film another second. A producer later hinted online that footage from that day was locked away indefinitely. Why? Because what Tamar said when the cameras were off, insiders claim, was far too explosive to air. One crew member allegedly described it as the most unfiltered rage I've ever witnessed. Then Tamar did what only Tamar can do. She went live. At first, she was eerily calm. Too calm. The kind of calm that makes people lean in because they know a storm is coming. She stared directly into the camera and said, "I don't know who thinks playing with my name like this is okay, but you just woke up something you can't put back to sleep." Her voice trembled, not with fear, but with fury. The comments flew faster than anyone could read. Is it true? Is Ashlee your daughter? Why would Towanda do this? Tamar didn't answer. Instead, she paused, listening to someone off camera. Her eyes widened. Her face dropped. She whispered, barely audible, "She leaked the second page." The live ended immediately. That's when the chaos escalated from scandal to catastrophe. Blogs reported that another document had allegedly surfaced, this one referencing childhood medical records tied to Ashlee. Not naming a mother outright, but hinting at inconsistencies that fueled speculation. The implication was cruel and devastating. Not only was Tamar's identity being questioned, but Ashlee's entire sense of self was being ripped apart publicly. Fans went feral. Some accused Tamar of hiding a child for decades. Others accused Towanda of character assassination. A third camp insisted the DNA reports were being misread or manipulated. But then another bomb dropped, an alleged screenshot of a Braxton sisters group chat. Towanda, "I told you all this would come out one day. Trina, delete this right now. Tony, what is wrong with you?" System message, Tamar left the chat. That final line became instantly iconic. Memes. Tweets. Reaction videos. All repeating the same sentiment, this family is broken. Behind the scenes, Tamar's team allegedly went into full crisis mode. Calls to lawyers. Demands for takedowns. Threats of legal action. But every attempt to contain the damage failed, because the leaks kept coming. A supposed producer text began circulating, claiming Tamar once said, "If this ever gets out, I'm done." Fans latched onto that line like it was a confession. Then came the voicemail. Allegedly from Evelyn Braxton. Her voice shaking. "Why would you hurt your sister like this? Why would you bring this onto the family?" She didn't name Towanda, she didn't have to. The implication was clear. If true, it meant even their mother believed this leak crossed an unforgivable line. But the most devastating moment hadn't even hit yet. A new anonymous account appeared overnight, calling itself Braxton Whistle. It dropped a longer audio recording, nearly a full minute. Two voices. One allegedly Towanda's. The other unidentified. "She ain't innocent," Towanda's voice said. "You sure you want to do this?" the other voice asked. "I'm tired of covering for her. The world should have known." That clip shattered any remaining doubt in the public's mind. Whether real or fabricated, it felt real. And feeling real is all it takes online. Tamar reportedly collapsed when she heard it. A close friend allegedly leaked that Tamar was crying uncontrollably, pacing, asking the same question again and again. "Why is she doing this to me?" At one point, the friend claimed Tamar threw her phone so hard it cracked a studio window. Whether exaggerated or not, the image stuck. Then another leak twisted the knife deeper. A page from Tamar's personal journal, allegedly written years ago, surfaced online. One sentence was highlighted and shared everywhere. "I will never forgive her if she tells. I'm not ready." No context. No date. But fans immediately connected it to the current chaos. Tell what? Ready for what? The theory spiraled out of control. Some believed Tamar was Ashlee's biological mother. Others believed Tamar helped raise Ashlee, because if true, it meant the truth wasn't simple. It wasn't one villain, one lie, one secret. It meant this family had been carrying something far heavier than anyone imagined. And the worst part? Insiders claimed Towanda didn't leak the full DNA report. She allegedly hid the second page. And that page, according to whispers spreading through the industry, didn't just protect Tamar. It pointed back at someone else. And when that name comes out, insiders say, nothing about the Braxton legacy survives untouched. The revelation that a second page existed didn't just fuel speculation, it weaponized it. Overnight, the internet transformed from curious to vicious. This wasn't about whether Tamar was Ashlee's mother anymore. This was about who the DNA report was actually protecting. And according to the loudest whispers moving through industry group chats, Towanda knew exactly what she was doing when she leaked only half the story. Because here's what changed everything. A so-called insider claiming to be a former production assistant dropped a chilling thread that spread like wildfire. According to them, the full DNA report had circulated privately among network executives months ago, during an internal dispute that never went public. The reason it stayed buried. The second page didn't confirm a single biological mother. It suggested overlapping sibling markers. That phrase alone sent amateur detectives into a frenzy. Overlapping sibling markers meant one horrifying thing. The test couldn't isolate which sister was the mother, only that the child came from the same maternal line. Suddenly, Tamar wasn't the only name in the crosshairs. As this theory gained traction, fans started revisiting old footage with a level of obsession that bordered on disturbing. Clips from early seasons of family shows resurfaced. Freeze frames. Side-by-side photos. Age timelines. People pointed out moments that once felt harmless, but now looked loaded. A glance held too long. A comment brushed off too quickly. A joke that suddenly didn't feel like a joke at all. And then came the confrontation. According to multiple anonymous sources, Tamar showed up at Towanda's house unannounced the night after the second page rumor broke. No glam. No cameras. Just rage. Neighbors later claimed they heard screaming that went on for nearly 20 minutes. Tamar allegedly shouted, "You let them think it was me," over and over. Towanda reportedly fired back, "You let them believe lies for years." Security was called. By the time anyone arrived, Tamar was gone, shaking, crying, barely able to get into her car. But the damage had already been done, because minutes later, another alleged text leaked from someone claiming to be Towanda's close friend. "She thinks she knows everything," the message read. "She doesn't even know the half." That sentence became the new gasoline. What half? What could possibly be worse than a secret parent scandal? The answer came from the one voice everyone had forgotten to center in the chaos. Ashlee. Late that night, she posted a video. No makeup. No filters. Her voice shook with every word. She said she never consented to her DNA being shared. That she didn't ask to be turned into a theory. That she felt like her entire identity was being ripped apart by people who claimed to love her. At one point, she whispered, "I don't even know who to believe anymore." The clip shattered people. Within minutes, Tamar reposted it with 2 words, "I got you." Towanda reposted it too, but her caption was different. "Tell the whole truth." That was the moment the sisters officially stopped pretending this was about protection. This was about control. Then came the most damaging rumor yet. A private audio clip began circulating, allegedly a phone call between Tamar and an unidentified man. Tamar's voice sounded panicked. Not angry. Not defensive. Afraid. She leaked the wrong page on purpose, she said. She wants them to think it's me. The man responded, then release the second page. Tamar whispered back, I can't. If I do, I expose someone else. And I promised. Promised who? Promised what? The internet latched onto that word like a lifeline. Then the mother entered the battlefield. Another leaked recording surfaced, this one allegedly between Tamar and Evelyn Braxton. Evelyn's voice was calm, but heavy with disappointment. You should have told her years ago, she said. Tamar replied, it wasn't my truth to tell. Evelyn sighed. And now look what's happening. She wasn't supposed to find out like this. That single exchange cracked the narrative wide open. Because it suggested three terrifying things. The truth was known, it was shared among more than one family member, and Tamar wasn't the architect, she was the gatekeeper. As the internet spiraled, a new theory began dominating timelines. What if Ashlee's biological mother wasn't one of the public-facing sisters at all? What if it was someone adjacent to the family, someone protected, someone hidden, someone whose exposure would damage more than reputations? Then another leak dropped. A heavily redacted hospital document from decades ago. It listed a newborn girl. No mother named. Only a guardian assigned. The surname? Braxton. The internet erupted again. Fans matched dates. Cross-referenced tours. Compared interviews. Pointed out unexplained gaps where certain sisters vanished from the spotlight for months. And then the silence broke. Ashlee's father gave a radio interview. When asked directly who Ashlee's mother was, he smirked. I didn't raise her alone, he said. I had help. Not from who you think. When pressed further, he added one final line before hanging up, the truth been in your face for years. That smirk became a meme. That sentence became a threat. Hours later, an anonymous account dropped what it claimed was a preview of the full DNA report. Two names were highlighted. One blurred. The second starting with the letter T. The post stayed up less than 5 minutes before the account vanished entirely, but screenshots were already everywhere. Insiders say Tamar saw the full version moments later. Witnesses claim she screamed, not in anger, but in horror. She allegedly collapsed to the floor clutching her phone, whispering, "This can't be real." Because according to those same whispers, the unblurred name wasn't hers. It was Tracy. Her late sister. The one who couldn't defend herself. The one who took secrets to the grave. And beneath Tracy's name was a line Towanda never shared publicly. Shared maternal lineage possible among siblings. That's when Tamar stopped crying. Because the implication was unthinkable. The test didn't just point away from Tamar. It pointed around her. Meaning Towanda may not have leaked the DNA to expose Tamar. She may have leaked it to redirect attention. And when Tamar realized that, insiders say her grief hardened into something colder. Something focused. Something dangerous. Within hours, a cousin's voice note leaked saying, one of them had a baby young. Everybody knows. They just won't say who. Then Ashlee posted again. Just one line on a black screen. I know who my mother is. The internet collapsed. Tamar called immediately. Ashlee answered crying. Tamar begged, is it me? Is it Tracy? Is it her? Ashlee didn't answer. She just whispered, I'm scared, and hung up. Towanda finally spoke publicly. Truth hurts, she wrote. But lies hurt worse. The backlash was brutal. Fans accused her of manipulating evidence. Of hiding behind half-truths. Of throwing her sisters under the bus while protecting herself. And then another recording surfaced, this one between Evelyn and Tracy years ago. Tracy said, I can't raise her alone. Evelyn replied, "Your sisters will help." Insiders say she locked herself in her home for 2 days straight. No calls. No assistance. No management. Curtains drawn. Phone off. But inside, the walls were closing in. Because that second page didn't just answer questions, it rewrote the entire story everyone thought they understood. The implication was devastating. The biological link wasn't singular. It was shared. And that meant one unthinkable truth. The family had been guarding a secret so fragile that even they couldn't agree who was supposed to carry the blame. Meanwhile, Towanda was moving very differently. She didn't retreat. She didn't disappear. She posted cryptic quotes about accountability, about truth surfacing no matter how long it's buried. And fans noticed something unsettling. She never denied manipulating the report. She never denied hiding the second page. She only doubled down on the idea that the truth deserves daylight. That silence spoke volumes. Then came the phone call that allegedly shattered whatever was left between them. A source close to the family claims Tamar finally confronted Towanda directly. Not screaming. Not crying. Calm. Controlled. Dangerous. Tamar allegedly asked one question. Why didn't you show them the page that points back at you? Towanda's response, according to that same source, was chilling. Because they were ready to destroy you. Not me. That line flipped the entire scandal on its head. Because suddenly, this wasn't about exposure. It was about survival. As the internet argued over which sister was more wrong, a new detail quietly slipped through the chaos. The original DNA report had been ordered years earlier, not recently. It wasn't a reaction to rumors. It was a preventative measure. Someone had been afraid this day would come. Someone had prepared for it long before social media ever got involved. That's when fans started asking the most uncomfortable question of all. Who ordered the test? The answer came from an unexpected place. A former family friend anonymously emailed multiple bloggers claiming the test was done during a period of extreme tension years ago, when one sister allegedly threatened to go public during a private dispute. The report was meant to stop a war before it started. But instead, it became ammunition for one. And that's when Ashlee made her move. She didn't go live. She didn't cry on camera. She didn't accuse anyone. She posted one sentence that hit harder than any leak ever could. I was raised by love, not labels. Then she deleted every post on her page except one childhood photo. No names. No hints. Just silence. That silence broke the internet in half. Fans interpreted it 1,000 different ways. Some said she knew and chose peace. Others said she was protecting someone the family still wouldn't name. But insiders say Ashlee had already made her decision. She didn't want another leak. Another document. Another fight over her existence. And when Tamar finally re-emerged, it wasn't with rage. It was with resolve. Her final post didn't mention Towanda. Didn't mention DNA. Didn't mention Ashlee. It simply said, I carried secrets that weren't mine to tell. And I paid for that loyalty in public. Then she added one final line that made even longtime fans go quiet. If protecting someone makes you the villain, so be it. Towanda responded hours later with a single emoji-less sentence. Truth doesn't need protection. That was it. No more posts. No more leaks. No more recordings. But behind closed doors, insiders claim the family was preparing for something far bigger than social media backlash. Legal threats. Confidentiality agreements. Emergency meetings. Because if that unredacted report ever fully surfaced, if the final name ever became public, it wouldn't just change how fans see the Braxtons. It would change how the Braxtons see each other forever. And the most haunting part. According to one source close to the situation, the name everyone's waiting for isn't a sister the public argues about. It's someone no one has mentioned yet. Someone who was never meant to be part of the spotlight. Someone whose silence has protected everyone else. And if that silence ever breaks, there will be no reunion special powerful enough to put this family back together. Because some truths don't heal. They detonate. If you've made it this far, you already know this isn't just another piece of celebrity drama. This is the kind of story that rewrites everything you thought you knew in real time. Secrets buried for decades. Family bonds pushed to the breaking point. Truths so volatile that even saying the wrong name could collapse an entire legacy. And this story is not finished. Not even close. What you just witnessed is only the surface layer. There are still unanswered questions. Still missing pages. Still people staying silent for reasons nobody wants to admit out loud. And the moment the next leak drops, the narrative will shift again. Someone will be exposed. Someone will be vindicated. And someone will lose everything they worked their entire life to protect. This is why you cannot afford to look away right now. If you don't hit like, this story gets buried. If you don't comment your theory, your voice gets lost when the truth finally hits. And if you're not subscribed with notifications turned on, you will miss the exact moment the final piece of this puzzle explodes onto the timeline. The next update won't come with a warning. It will come fast, it will come messy, and it will change everything. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think was really being protected? Who do you think knew all along? And what happens when the full truth finally surfaces? Subscribe now. Turn on notifications. Stay locked in. Because when this story breaks again, and it will, you don't want to hear about it from someone else.